Okay, so agenda. Let me check. I already copy pasted a bunch of emails. 181 for sure and 188X. What else? We have a demo from Olivier today. Anyone else has a demo today?
Yes.
Benedict?
I'm going to show you the state of the localization.
Good. I was about to ask you actually. I saw your messages on the forum. What else?
Are you learning Hungarian, by the way, Sebastian? Because you applied for Hungarian translations. Are you learning Hungarian?
I could actually.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
but
a nice
I have
language.
some things more important to do with my life, so I think I won't.
I don't think there's anything more important than learning Hungarian, but
okay.
It's okay.
Okay, let's start. Let me check. No, still not yet. So let's start. Olivier demo, Benedict demo, Zoltan no demo. Demo for Zoltan. The website. We'll talk also about the website that Sean worked on. And if I'm missing anything, you just remind me. Okay, let's go. So stages first. I will share my screen. Sharing screen.
You're in France, right, Sebastian?
Correct.
Okay.
But part of my brain is still in the US.
I can tell. You sound tired.
That's great. I don't like jet lag. Whatever I do, it's always a pain. Sharing screen. Benedict, tell me. Pretty full the meeting today. People are still in the conference mode. I see some people from the conference a lot. Good. We should do conferences every month. People will not forget about the meeting. The screen.
It hasn't started loading for me yet. I'm in your screen sharing.
Can anyone else see?
So just loading for me. I can see now.
Just pop that for me. I can see it now.
Okay, so let's go back in time. When was it? This is not that. 5 days, 7 days. Should be around here. This 7, 8. Okay, let's start with this, but I think we talked about it. So 7 days. What is that? Another branch. Okay, let's start with this one then. So this is about a few query optimizations. I think we talked about it last week already. In case this one was just that it's caching. This one is caching the. No, not this. Yes, this one is caching the shell descriptor record. When you enable or disable a feature, if you look at the log, you will see more than 100 queries with the same query which was loading this shell descriptor record. So now it's cached in a request. It's just when you enable or disable a feature, or even if you start up the application actually, so that might be important. This one is just zip code, then fixing profiles generation, concurrence. I think I also talked about this one last week. What was it? or maybe not. Yeah. No, I think I'll talk about it. Okay, let's go up. Up. This was for this fix was for the unit test, just to let some unit test pass on the continuous integration machine. Okay, now this should be new. Testing dynamic compilation spec flow again for the unit test, so we can have build artifacts automatically. Just as a reminder, if you want the latest binaries from Orchard based on the source code, you go to teamcity.codebetter.com, which is our CI platform, which is free for open source projects, and you can log in as a guest. You don't need to create an account. You click open as a guest, and then in the projects, there are hundreds of projects. You'll find Orchard, and here you will find continuous build for 1.8x and 1.x, which are built whenever we do a commit on the repository live. And we have nightly builds for the two branches, and this one will also include all the spec flow tests. And each time it builds, I will get some artifacts. So for instance, if I want the latest 1.8.x, I go to artifacts. And I can get the web deploy version or the source directly. Okay, and there are also some queries to get the latest available MS deploy or source version of the code, if you want to use this one instead of cloning the repository. So just as a reminder. So all these changes I made were to make the CI work better. For instance, these two tests, I'm ignoring them right now. They are about dynamic compilation. They work locally, but on the CI they don't pass. I don't know why. Maybe there is a configuration mistake or some code. I don't know why. But they pass locally, and because I didn't want to break the full build because of this one, I ignored them. They are not that important, and they actually work. Then I merge. Then this is from Sitke's branch. We'll ignore that right now. Incremental work. Where is that? This is not what we need. We need this one. Then this one was reminded by Zoltan. So and actually you saw it at the conference 2 weeks ago when Sitke showed his workflow module. The timer didn't send email after when it kicked in, but the issue was that the URL helper was not resolved in a background task from a timer. It's resolved from a jobs queue, but not in a timer. So I fixed it. It was missing an override on the HTTP wrapper, which is used in a background task.
You sure returning null is correct?
Yeah, because we don't care. The only service that is supposed to be called is an HTTP based worker. It's something that only exists on a web request, and this is failing on it's only used on a background task, this wrapper, so we don't care. The issue was that it was returning a not implemented exception, and it was breaking the web pages code, which was calling it, and it could accept a null. So this was a horror case.
Okay.
What it should actually do is use the autofac and resolve a service by the type. But this is not even implemented in our current logic, so that's fine.
That's why I asked, should you return null? So, okay, fine.
No, we don't do that. Then again, merge. This we don't care. This is fixing a unit. Well, this is fixing a bug which was failing unit test in international computers. The issue was that it was so the log file is serializing an XML file with the last time a file has been locked and delay, but this time was saved in invariant culture and read without the invariant culture passed in parameter, which means it was read using the local culture formatter, and then it was failing for instance French culture. So it was failing a unit test correctly because actually the feature will not have worked. So this is fixed, and this led to I think 181 RC2 after that. RC1 was just here, and then I fixed it for RC2. Oh no, maybe RC2 also with the timer here. Then we'll talk about RC right after. So this one is on 1.x. This is last week when I showed the widgets, the draftable widgets, it was not working, so I fixed the bugs which were there in the service and also in the commands, because now a widget has to be published. Otherwise, it will be a draft. And now I see that some people are working good. So I merged one of these. So apparently, and from what I saw also from the logs, Nick is working on TinyMCE 4. And I will let you talk about it after that. Sipke on his branch, good to know. Plugins, authorization filter for web API. Are you fixing some stuff?
Yeah, it's just missing a filter, so that's all.
So the same logic as for the other filters, but for authorization. Okay.
Yeah. There is still that bug that we spoke about, so I'll put a fix in for that a little later on. Okay. To stop the Stack Overflow one.
Okay. This one is fixing post when adding no value to new tag name.
It was blowing up with a link exception, so just fixed it.
Adding show hide to all widgets view.
So on the widgets view, top right hand corner, you've got a list of layers.
Okay, I will talk about it. Okay.
And it's just a show all and hide all button. So if you've got a lot of layers, you can hide them all by just clicking hide all, and same with show all. So it's I don't know if anyone else has come across that in the past, but it's rather annoying if you've got to go through and click each one incrementally. And then if you refresh the page, they're all shown again.
Yeah, I think that actually no one knows that you can click these little eyes on the right to show and hide a layer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's just a link there now to show and hide it. So obviously, if there's JavaScript enabled, yeah.
Then this one that I will talk about, and this one is validating. Okay. Don't validate password inputs on change password. Okay, fine. That's good. Weird. I thought we had fixed that. Maybe not here.
You had fixed every single one bar that one.
Okay, good.
So it's fine.
So Antoine created a bug and fixed it about Orchard content. Well, about the content types module and fields and workflows and projection. No, sorry, and projection. Sorry, projection fields and content not being enabled in the blog's recipe. And so my issue is two issues. First, I'm not sure we should do that because it has always been like this on the blog recipe. The content types and the fields were not enabled. Maybe because it was a blog's recipe. So maybe the idea was that because it's a blog recipe, we don't need content types by default, we just need a blog. We could argue that maybe the tag cloud should be defined by default on a blog recipe. The archive should also be added by default on blog recipe. That would make more sense for blog recipe. So it's not like a developer's recipe, but an end user recipe. But my main issue here is that I had already released on this branch 181 RC1 and RC2, and it's a pain now because RC2 is ready and there is no bug, because this is not a bug and not for a small cycle like this. And what do I do? If I merge 1.a.x in master, it takes this value. So the zip we created for RC2 is no more valid. So it's actually invalidating the drops I made. So, and I think I said in the comment on this bug that what I should have done before is maybe create an integration branch so that we can release based on this branch and merge this one. But it was too late. So what do you think? Do you see the issue? Not talking to you specifically, Antoine. So it's to everyone. What everyone has to say about that. What should we do? Creating an RC means.
I wonder whether the recipes are slightly out of date anyway. So I'm wondering whether what we do is we revert what Antoine's done on 1.8, and we say, well, you know, what should actually be in the recipes going forward. And
this should be discussed. This should be discussed. So yeah, the issue is that here Antoine created the bug and fixed it.
Wrong. I'm just thinking that maybe the recipes are old, and we actually just need to revisit the ones that we've got anyway.
But here it's done on a branch which was in the middle of an RC, so.
That's what I'm saying. If we revert this one, and then
revert.
Let's talk about what we should have in the recipes.
So revert could be good here. It will still not be the. I assume it could be the same binaries yeah, it could work. I don't want to go back in time in the history to cancel the commit, but we can still revert and say it's the one which was in the zip, so that will work. And open the discussion and talk about it. And do we want these features? And yeah, or do we want to change anything on the recipes right now?
Well, I think we should open a discussion about it, because I mean, Antoine did bring up a very good point on this one, you know, on this change, is that, you know, there are things missing from some of the, you know, from this recipe potentially. Mm-hmm. And also, you brought up the same thing. You know, maybe a tag cloud widget should be enabled for
the blog. For a blog, yeah, blog archives.
Yeah.
Tag cloud, the standard stuff. Maybe, and I will say, a theme for this blog module, a blog theme, something like this, a better theme. Okay, so I will revert it and reopen the bug.
Yeah.
To discuss, and which leads me to the discussion about releasing 1.8.1. Nobody complained about the release. So apparently, Antoine, you tried it, so it works, because you saw that it doesn't have the content type module. So if everyone is okay, I will release it. It's also ready for the Azure Gallery, because all the tests are passing, so I just need to tell them that it's fine. Oh, sorry, did I miss anything? What is it about? Markup. He's talking about markup. I don't see any markup. I cannot write to a closed text writer. Yeah, we can't repro. No repro here. Okay, this is the only thing we know about 181, so because there is no repro, it's a local issue. We'll see. So I will release 181 then, and we can still release a new update if we see, and we will if we see any issue. Everyone agrees? Nobody disagree? Okay, cool. Done. What else? 181 so will be released. We'll continue on 1.0, and I will reopen. So we will still continue to work on 1.8x for the short cycles. Okay, but this time when I will create the RCs, I will create a branch integration just to mark it like this is what we are freezing. We don't touch anything. You can work on 1.8x if you want, but integration will go in RC before. Then I will merge in master and also merge master to 1.x to take all the updates into account. So let's continue with Benedek about localization.
Okay, let me share my screen. So tell me if you see anything. So to put it in a nutshell, the localization migration to Crowdin was actually successful. So basically everything is set up, and we already have some users in Crowdin. Can you see my screen now?
Personally, but Zoltan can.
That's interesting. Anyway,
I can now.
Okay, so
Nice.
this is the project homepage. I obviously see a little more because I am the administrator, so there are settings here. But basically, what you see here is that we have 42 languages. 42 is a good number, by the way.
Sorry, your screen is refreshing at a very low rate, so
yeah, we just can see right now.
Slower.
Yeah, okay. Well, wow. It's not really interesting. It's just we have added. I have added the Romanian language today, so we are going to have a Romanian translation too. So basically, what I just wanted to show you very quickly is how to contribute to the project, which is very easy. All you need to do, as described on the website, I'll paste the link in the chat. So you just have to go to crowdin.net, register a user, and then go to the project homepage and apply for a language. And then I'm going to get a message and give you access to the given languages. Translating strings is very similar to what we had before, but actually we have some other tools that are aiding translation, so I'm going to show you very quickly. By the way, when I'm talking, I'm not going to do too much because I have to press Shift to talk because I'm in push to talk. So what you see here is that we have this huge list of files. It's actually 90 different files that can be translated at the moment. The list is much longer because we have a folder structure and they are also listed, but we have one file for each of these folder structure. So let's see something I haven't translated yet completely. For example, workflows. I go to translate, and as you can see on the left side, we have all the strings listed that haven't been translated yet. And basically, you do something very similar than in the old tool. The difference is that there's a translation memory for the whole project in the given language. So if there's a string that has been translated for the given module, or any other module is going to suggest translations, and it also uses Bing or actually Microsoft Translator to suggest translations. And for smaller strings, it's actually quite useful because you just click on something and and then it's there, and then you commit the translation. But actually, the translation is a two-step process. So there's translation and then proofreading. So by default, when somebody applies to a language, to a culture for translation, I give them the proofreader role. So it means that when they translate something, they can actually automatically, allow it to be included in the translation package, and that can be done in the proofread menu. About the downloadable packages, they have the same structure as before. So it works the same way. You just get a zip package, and that's what you have to paste into your folder structure for your Orchard instance. So it works the same. Actually, one little problem is that if you are an anonymous user, you can't actually go to the page where you can see the individual download links for each culture. You can download the latest build package, which includes all the different cultures. And I contacted the support about it, and they said that it's not possible for anonymous users to download individual packages, but actually the URL that I can see, because I'm the administrator, is accessible from the outside. For an anonymous user, it's just not displayed. So I'm going to discuss it with them. This is a security issue or a bug or feature problem, so it's interesting. But if there's not going to be a link to the individual packages, I'm just going to put them on the localization page for each of them on the Orchard project.dev website. So it would be easier that way. And one last thing is that if you translate a string, it's not going to be included automatically in the download package. When you click download for the whole package or for the given culture, the project actually has to be built, and I think I'm the only one who is allowed to do that, and it has to be done manually. But it's possible to set up, for example, a daily build, because Crowdin has a nice API. Actually, I use the API to upload all the files, because there are more than 3,600 files involved in the translations right now. A little more than that, so it would have been really painful to upload them all one by one. But yeah, that's it. So I'm going to set up a daily build, for example, at midnight. So you're going to get the latest package every day. I think that's it. Any questions?
When is midnight?
Well, it depends where you are.
Because it's midnight.
When it's midnight in Hungary.
Well, it's yeah, for example, GMT midnight, or I don't know, whatever.
Quick question. Maybe it was the case before. I see all the gallery modules there.
Right.
Can anyone create any folder and modules translation? And do we want that?
You mean to add a new module? So
well, yes, for instance.
So if you want to add, yeah, actually, so I'm not sure. I certainly can. So I can add new modules. So if someone sends me a message, I can do that in like, I don't know, 10 minutes. It's not a big deal.
Do we want that? Do we want that? That anyone can create a module, or maybe should it be a different project on Crowdin?
Yeah, actually, it was suggested that the modules that are in the Orchard source right now should be separated from everything else, because we have, for example, upgrade to 1.4, upgrade to 1.5, and upgrade to 1.6. Those were different. Those were separate modules in previous Orchard versions. Now we have the upgrade modules, so basically all those modules are kind of deprecated. So they are in one place right now.
Yeah, because I'm afraid some modules get deprecated, and the percentage or the work, the work which has to be done is not representative of the number of actual translations we need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this is the current setup, but it's certainly possible to set up another project. It's just we get all the functionalities which are actually not free, but we get it for free because it's an open source project. Well, I can ask if we can set up another project for separate modules.
Just discussing that. I'm not sure if we want that or if we need that.
Yeah, I was thinking about
Well,
it.
is the other issue, what happens if one of the other modules doesn't abide by Orchard's licensing? Does that change the way that we use Crowdin? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you mean if there's a module that is not open source, for example?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. The translation knowledge, or how should I put it, is actually open source because you can extract it from the views, for example. But if you have a DLL for a module, you can't extract the T strings from the DLL, for example. It's a good question.
Bertrand is saying there is no issue.
Sorry, I didn't see the
Because
chat, but yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I've said anything I wanted to announce.
That's pretty cool.
So you just have to register on the site, on the Crowdin, and apply for the project, and you will be added to the languages you want to translate. And it's pretty easy and fast.
Great. Have you already updated the localization page on the website?
Yeah, so I think I pasted the URL. It's not the old one. I think it was /localize. I created a page /localization, and it actually describes how to contribute to the translations in the new tool.
Okay. Thank you. We'll see if people complain. I'm not sure. We'll see. Oh, did you update? Oh, yes. Oh, you already updated the forum too.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you, Benedict.
Okay. Cool.
Nick, you want to talk about TinyMCE 4?
Not really. Well, I updated 1.x to use TinyMCE 4.1.0. So, yeah, that's really as much as I wanted to say on it. Give it a go. It should work more or less exactly the same as the previous one. So I made the toolbar exactly the same as the previous one. So it's just that I updated to the newer version. So if we want to extend it, then we can work on that later. I thought the main thing was to get 4.1 in there. So.
Can you explain the current discussion you have with Christian?
What is it? I'm not up to date today on the current discussion. Okay. What is it about?
I see that there were some discussions on the forum. About lost tags which were in the previous version. Does it fix that?
Well, that's what I was asking. So I'm going to take a look at that.
Okay.
That's to do with let's say you're copying and pasting something that's got a div tag in it with a span class, a div tag with a class of whatever, and you paste it into TinyMCE. Well, TinyMCE gets rid of that span class, gets rid of that div tag, and Christian's saying that he doesn't want that to happen. So what I'm thinking is maybe we TinyMCE so that you can configure what you're allowed to paste in it from the URL, what plugins you want on from the Orchard admin screens. But for start, we've got 4.1 in. Now we can look at extending that to do those kind of things, and then work on the old module. All right.
Okay, wait. I have to. Application issues. Okay, now I think it's Olivier's turn. So Olivier is a French developer, another one, who worked on an OData module, and he will give us a demo of the module right now. Olivier, can you introduce yourself? Hello.
Hello, you can hear me?
We can, fine.
Okay. Hello everyone. So my name is Olivier. I'd like to introduce you with a module I developed and have any kind of return you can provide to me. So if you want to see it, you can install it from here.
You want to share your screen?
And I'm trying. You're presenting, you have no desktop mode. Excuse me, I'm not using this kind of sharing, so I'm not used to this tool. Are you seeing something?
Not yet, maybe it takes some time.
I clicked on desktop.
Loading. Antoine says loading. So it should come out here, loading for me too. But we need to wait for Benedict to see it because he's recording.
Actually, it says that I can't join the presentation due to some server error, so I'll rejoin. So give me half a minute, please.
Benedict needs to record it.
Yeah, I can see it now, thanks.
Good, go.
Okay, so you have the module in the gallery, so if you want to try it, you can. Just to tell you, not pretty sure why, but I had to have this in the webpoint config to enable service hosting. And if you don't, Orchard crashes. So it's just a little trick you have to do if you want to try the module. To add this in your webpack config, sorry. So when I install it, you can define your own content. For my demo, I'm using a card definition for trading cards games. So I define it here, and as we'll see, it has some fields, some content fields, and some parts. So it has obviously media picker to get the card, and you have some specific attributes and tags and the title parts. So when it displays the card, goes like this. And obviously you can filter traditionally with contents tags, and with the UC search you can get only your requests filtered. My point was to develop the module, and when you had the module, you got the suffix OData to your root website. and then it automatically provides you the WCF data service providers, so you can reference your Orchard website with this API, and you got all your contents declared in the container at the end. In my case, only pages, projection, and cards. And it declares content tabs presenting parts and fields. As example, my card with the parts and the fields directly under the content type. So when I ask in XML or JSON format and some filtering like the title, I get the same elements as I got with the UCIN there. The three cards filtered on the title, which not sure I'm pretty clear, but you can query with OData requests on the parts and all fields upon your contents from an external source as a Windows Store app or an external website. You can select only some elements. In my case, I was just selecting tags. For example, just to filter on the client side the tags companion and habit to get the IDs on the repository or card repository. So in this case, I filter this ID, this one, and the other one, and I can build another OData request to filter on these IDs. So in two OData requests, I can do the same as this. So don't hesitate to ask me if I'm not clear as much as I should. So, but this is how I implemented it to provide OData queries in an Orchard website. So how I did this? I did this with WCF providers. With this kind of module, if you want to see it, there is a complex project. So I needed to re-implement a factory using the standard one, but while overriding the specific service host to embed a data service host. So doing this, I could implement standard OData with a data services and a context that can be resolved into the Orchard IOC mechanism, especially with the help of the factory. And all this that is initialing properly the work context. So in this case, classically, I had to provide three elements: the context here, and a metadata provider and a query provider. So the module is simply these three classes for the context, the metadata and the queries. So if we see shortly the metadata, it's just getting all the content types declared in Orchard and create a resource type regards to this, while it could just instantiate a new content type without saving it in the repository with the new method, and don't flush it in the repository. So it creates a resource type for each content type definition, and it creates this with all parts it embeds and fields. So it uses then a query provider, and there it is my little bit issue right now. When you query, it has to give a queryable object, and the only way I could provide a queryable is to use the context that has a dependency on the content manager. And for the moment, the only way I found to do this, to get a queryable around content items requested regards to the name of the content type on the resource sets, is to use this, the SQL query, and the list that do link you to objects. So it has to query all in the CLR, the objects from the database, and not a queryable on which apply the filters you can send with the requesting, like this one. So in my case, I have to what I want to point is I have to load all cards, all content types named cards, on which apply the filter, and this for the moment does not apply the filter on the queryable and then apply it on through an Hibernate on the repository. So this is the first limitation I found for moment, and it seems to be the greatest one of them.
When you see that, you don't need other limitations. You're already limited. On the chat, Christian says very nice, and right after you said that you had to load everything, you said ouch, just meaning yeah. Who wants to load everything to just have an as queryable? And I'm not sure there is a technical solution to that actually, or you will have to create your own iQueryable implementation. And crazy. So there was a question, and I think now it's answered. Piotr asked about how you were loading all the parts. Are you just using reflection to get the parts?
Sorry, to load the cards?
The parts, the content parts.
Okay.
Like tags part and...
When I'm declaring the metadata, here, there, if I refound it, you can get... that's another question I could...
not the metadata, but the actual data.
When I'm loading it, querying it, or when I'm...
Yeah, my question was, when you display all the title, all the properties of a part, do you by reflection?
All the properties are retrieved through the metadata provided with the service. So you declare the properties you want to expose through this, and it is implemented through this provider. So this is the provider implementing this standard WCF service provider. So this is the types. I'm searching it when I'm installing the resource. This provide all the resource types you can query, and it declares upon it all the properties you can filter or select. So there it is. When I'm just doing a for each element here. I'm doing this. I'm searching in the content manager all the content type definition declared in orchard. With this, all the creatable only, maybe we can do this better, I don't know. But I found this way. So I got the orchard definitions for all content type definitions declared as creatable here, and when I got this, I can declare a resource type for OData service regards to a content type definition. So when I'm doing this, I'm just applying the new method to apply reflection about it. This one is just a wrapper for the new method of content manager. So I got an instance here, and with some reflection, I'm searching all resource property I can declare regards to as content part, and these resource property are defined as complex type attached to the resource type for a content definition. And I'm sure I'm enough clear here.
So from perspective,
Just is not lost, but everyone else is.
Okay. When you declare the metadata you want to expose in your OData service, I'm searching for all content parts attached to the content type and declare them as a complex type. Complex type is a specific resource type regards to OData specifications.
Yeah, okay, but when you when do those properties that you display in the OData, where do they come from? So is it that you just look over all public properties of
I'm just instantiate a content type that is not saved in the orchard, but just instantiate it, and with reflection I parsed the object to get all the parts and or fields attached to the content type. And recursive, don't know if it's an English word, recursively. I do this on parts and also fields to get with reflection the properties that I can expose on my service.
So this is a very good example for why we need a very specific API actually instead of OData, because here you have to load all the content items of the type, which are very slow if you have lots of content items, and on top of that you will access all the properties by reflection for the ones you will extract, which means there will be a lot of lazy loading for each part. It will, well, it depends on which version of Orchard, but it will probably do a SQL query for each part just to load and for each content item. So this will work for small number of content items, but if you have medium-sized database, this won't work at all. That's why we need I think, specific data APIs.
I don't see why OData would be wrong on this case, but why not, like you said, seed it in small, discrete contexts? in each module.
Well,
right.
There is just one module, which is the content types module, because the data is just about that. You enumerate all the content types, so just the content types module, we know that, and you need to expose an iQuery label. Maybe not with Web API OData, I don't know. Maybe I assume it will still do that, but
Yeah, exactly the same problem that we don't have access to a queryable that translates directly to SQL in database via Content Manager. So it's hard.
We don't want that.
Sorry?
And we don't want that. That's very complex.
Yeah, so I was, like I said, I had exactly the same issue. I haven't found a solution other than, I don't know, some weird expression translation, translating OData expression to a query some way, but it's really problematic.
Yeah, so good thing is that Olivier agreed to quit his job to work 100% on the REST API. Somehow he will find some time to work on the REST API and make a good REST API. So but OData, I actually suggested the OData module, I think a few years back, because it actually makes sense for our job, but there is some inherent issues with OData and how we need to do stuff to make every possible filter available in the query string. So in terms of development, that's crazy, and you can do optimizations. That's why we might need custom API endpoints for each of the modules, like search, content types, content item IDs, whatever. We talked about it at the conference, and there would not be these performance issues that we could see with OData. But that's still very nice to see, because it opens some side queries and scenarios. It's just sad that OData is complex to do like this, but that's part of the benefits. Okay, thank you, Olivier.
Something I had to do. Why I had to do this is I wanted to use the search charm bar from my Windows App Store, and I wanted to call this kind of search from my Windows Store app towards my website.
For instance, a very simple OData you could do today. Okay, we need to mute someone. Who is that? Sorry, Lan. Thank you. So the simple OData we could do right now is just using the search API. Because in the search API, we have the Lucene language, which can do almost everything that the OData can do. You can filter on properties, on relations, and you can order, you can even do full text search, and you just create a slash search and query string using an API, and you can already do lots of things with that. Some other issues for serialization and everything, but maybe that could be a good simple solution. But yeah, I will create a forum post and explain what we could have in the REST API. We also have the Halo module. I don't know if they released it yet on the gallery. I'll check, and that could be also a good starting point, because they have fixed lots of things. Maybe start from this module. We'll see, but let's start a discussion on the forums to see what we should do with the API next.
I just wanted to add something. What I think is really interesting and a recurring theme here. Really great people joining the project, writing really interesting yet relatively complex solutions. What I liked at the end was, which I'm making this, just throwing that there as a recommendation for these demos, understanding how one would apply this in a simplified manner and how that would be leveraged on the front-end consumer view of a product. Does that make sense? Because we tend to deep dive and get really into the code and the complexity.
Yeah, so I agree. It was really too deep for everyone here. Maybe not Piotr, but yeah, we should just focus on what the module is about and how to use that. How does it change our day-to-day job?
I'm not necessarily advocating to dissuade anyone from going into the complexities of the architecture, because it is applicable for some people, but certainly I think it should be, I don't know if it's a requirement, but a really great lens for somebody to bring when they demo. What's the real life application for this? How does this get exposed? Technically, not technically, but as a result on the website, and what can I do with it? Because it starts to make people think about the extensibility points, and it also presents it in a more digestible manner. Awesome that people are doing.
Okay. Next, any question about that? No, well, not really. I don't think that listen.net.link could be the answer.
Well, I mean, in terms of, I think it exposes OData from Lucene.
I see what you mean. You know?
So, pardon?
But indirection to indirection to indirection doesn't work.
Potentially, that's why I said it might be. I don't know without looking.
Link to Lucene.net might be weird sometimes for some results. Then API to link to Lucene with what we have in the index? No way.
Well, yeah, but we don't know without looking. So
look, and in the meantime, just expose the Lucene language in the core string. Done. 2 lines of code, and it's already on my fork. Actually, I already did that, so it's working. It must be in the Halo module too, I'm sure. So, and you have that already. You don't need to use link for that. You have a link. Text to link to Lucene. Why? It takes to Lucene directly. You don't need to go through link. So that should be easy. Next week, Piotr, do that. Or Nick, do that. You like it. But Olivier will do that before you. We'll see. Okay. Is there anything in the triage we should mention? Zoltan, have you seen any bugs, important bugs that we should triage?
I haven't, no.
No? Wow. Crazy. Okay, so we already passed the time. People start to leave the meeting. I'll show you the website next week. I've again found very, very nice websites last week. I should do one week with 5 great websites just to show you the things we are releasing on Auction. Sorry, we need to do something. Can anyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Sure. So let's go on website, Orchard website, Azure website. So this is what Sean has done so far. He was at the conference, so he liked Bertrand's slide about the unicorn theme, so he made a unicorn theme. Just a slide actually, which is already nice. This is the old one, this is the new one. So he's still working on that, CSS HTML files. He's on the home page completely in HTML now, which is working with all the items which were on the mockups. And he also made the download page, which looks nice too, with a white background. It's already better than with a blue background, which is already better than with a gray background. So you see, it starts looking to something. And so far, so good. Do you have any next step in mind, Sean? On feedback you requested for some topics?
The next step for me is just to keep doing the pages until I run out of PDF.
Good. That's good. Then we know what's missing and we can talk about what's missing or what's already there. So if anyone has any comment to do or can help Sean on something, please do so. It's on GitHub. Can you remind us the URL in the chat, Sean, for the GitHub account? And yeah, it looks already pretty nice. And we can get feedback on that. Do you have all the pages, or are there already some pages that you know you will be missing?
I already know there's some pages that aren't in the PDF.
Okay.
The PDF just has, I think, 3 or 4 different page types.
Maybe we should take the content from the old website for some things. And sometimes we don't know what should be actually there. I think the community was the biggest screen because it has lots of things on that. Okay, but that's already nice. One can help also on defining colors and fonts because it looks like the default font. Maybe this is what we want. The colors definitely will change.
Yeah, I'm a front-end developer, not a
That's
designer,
fine.
so color choices
really
and font choices aren't my thing.
That's good. Yeah, so if anyone can give some help on that and provide a CSS for that, that would help. Yeah. Otherwise, we'll push it to the last moment and keep working on the content. That already looks good. Thank you, Sean. Any other question? Did I miss anything? I estimated. Okay, question about the videos. Dan?
Yeah, I'm just in the process of basically all the templates are. I sent you the one for the internal team and you to review it. Did you see that?
I think I received a mail. I didn't check that. I think you can talk right now.
You're not able to hear me?
We don't hear you very well. We hear more the background noise than you.
I'll type.
Okay, thank you. Let me see the other question. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is the admin theme that Antoine is still working on. So lots of parallel efforts on different modules right now. We have Antoine working on the admin, Sean on the front end for the website. We have Sipke working on with iDeliverable on Audit Trail. We have Sipke also working on some layout module improvements. So everything looks good so far. Everything forward.9, cool. Yeah, so the send to video for internal. Okay, so let me check. Oh yeah, sorry, I see this one. So yep, I will check my email to see about the videos, but they are going on. I saw one. I think I saw the which looked good. The quality was nice. Okay. Well, we'll end with that. Any other question? Nick? You have a question?
To me? No?
Yeah, okay. So. Good. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Good luck to France tomorrow for the game.
Are you presenting?
Presenting what?
At .NET Conf.
Oh, no, not at all. I discovered it like everyone.
Oh.
Yeah.
You coming to London?
Or what? There's nothing to do in London.
Oh, never mind.
One day for one Orchard conference, we'll come to London. We don't know when, but we'll come to London. Okay, thank you guys. Have a good week, and talk to you next week.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Bye.